Welcome to Real Talk in My Rooms, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of branding, marketing, and personal development. I'm your host, Amanda Christie, and today we have a very special episode in store for you. We're thrilled to be joined by Marina, a true marketing maven and expert in all things brand presence. Get ready to level up your branding game and gain valuable insights from her wealth of experience. Together, we'll explore the secrets to creating a captivating brand presence that leaves a lasting impact. So grab your favorite beverage, sit back, and let's get real about all things brand presence. So before we get started, let's tell everybody who you are, how you get started in the marketing industry, and where they can find you and connect with you.
Great. So I actually got my start in the marketing industry working for some very large multinational corporations, some drug manufacturers in the pharmaceutical industry. And I've spent the past 10 years plus of my life doing that now. And so I've been really lucky to work with some of the world's greatest marketers and just really get a lot of exposure to them and what it takes to grow a business, to grow a brand, and what that means.
Awesome. And where can people find you? I know we'll go over that again at the end, but if someone's like on their phone right now, where can they find you?
We are on Instagram at Elevado Media, also at Marina Sells Monmouth, and then our website is elevado-media.com.
Awesome. So a little backstory, Marina and I met at a women's networking group that I am a co-founder of, the Committee GNO, and she came to one of my posing classes here at My Room Studios, and we just clicked it off and became friends since then. And I'm just so excited to have her on today. So she's a wealth of knowledge, and she has a ton of information that we're going to have her on again for part 2, possibly part 3, probably part 3, because we could talk a lot. So we came up with some questions that we think would provide a lot of value to you guys. So we're going to dive into those questions right now if you're ready to answer them.
Let's dive in.
So when it comes to defining your brand identity, how can a small business clearly articulate their brand's values, mission, and unique selling points?
So that's a great question. I think it's something that's really often overlooked by a lot of small business owners because, well, it's easy to kind of get caught up in the grind of the everyday work. You know, you're out there, you're taking care of their needs, whether it's real estate, whether you're an esthetician, whether you're a lawyer. No matter what industry you're in, you're really every day focused on like servicing your clients' needs. But one thing that's really important is for people to take a step back and ask themselves, what is my brand? And part of that is a larger strategy session. And that includes defining your target audience, specifically what drives you, what is your why as a business owner, as an individual, and what do you want your organization to do? Who does it service specifically? Who is your target audience? And really define that very clearly and have a clear vision on who that is, because that's going to help define your value proposition later on and what you can actually do for that target audience. So if you don't know who they are to begin with, you can't really provide them that value because you don't know what it is or who it is that you are really trying to help. And then also just overall defining what your brand presence looks like. And that's going to be how you show up everywhere on social media, in print, in digital, in any way that you do marketing. This is how you're going to show up. And what that's going to do for your brand is it's going to allow people to instantly recognize you and any of the materials that you put out. And this is something that large corporations spend a lot of money on, defining their brand identity. And that can be their colors, the colors that they use, not only in their logo, but overall.
So like the McDonald's.
Yes, absolutely. You see the red
M arch, right? Or whatever it's called. It's yellow, the red. Like they specifically chose certain colors that make you hungry, right? Like, or make you want to come there, that make you feel safe, happy, like whatever. They strategically picked those colors and then they blasted it everywhere.
Absolutely. There's definitely a psychology behind the colors that that these brands are choosing, like the large companies. And then whatever you pick, really just like sticking with it, because that's going to be what people continue to associate with you. So right now, whenever you see the golden arch,
right, you're
immediately.
Thinking. So if a brand is like, I don't really have a color I want, and I kind of just want to do whatever, it is important to have that, to have certain colors, just so people can recognize who they are, and right, like
of course, yeah. I mean, when working with like some of the large companies, when we define our brands, that would be something that every vendor that signs on to work with us has to agree to work within, because it defines who you are to that outside audience whenever they see you. Really, it allows people, like, it allows you to become a household name. You're not really going to be top of mind for people if there's nothing that they can clearly associate you with. So that's really important, that consistency in how you show up. And I mean, that doesn't mean that it's something that you have to stick with forever, but it's something that you have to really try to work with for a consistent period of time.
Right. So like if someone's starting off, they might, for example, we use me. Like when I first started off photography, I had my logo in colors one way, which was blues, and then I felt pinks, and now I'm pink, and I've been sticking with the pinks, the vibe, but I've been with it for a while now, and I feel like every time I do see pink, it's like it feels right. So having that consistency with the pinks on the website, and and on my social media, I feel like it fits well, and like you said, it makes things look consistent, like nice. I don't know, it just.
Yeah, absolutely. It brings like a consistency to your message. So as soon as people see that pink and white pop up, they're like, "Oh, Amanda."
Right, exactly. And even like Target's red and white. Like when you like they have the dog as their like their brand, like mascot. So that is huge.
And incorporating those kinds of elements as well into a brand, like a logo or a mascot, or really whatever kind of makes sense. But those elements are also kind of important. So I think in the beginning, like you said, if you're just starting out as a business, do something, just, you want to get your name out there. Pick a logo. It can be simple to begin with. You can always change it later on. You can even pick those colors that you identify with and then say, this is something that I want to stick with. Maybe the logo will change in the future, but this is kind of where I'm starting.
Right. So start somewhere, and then you can always rebrand again in the future, but just get started.
Absolutely. Definitely just get started. That's the biggest hurdle.
It definitely is. It's what it is? It's just like it's a lot. You're putting yourself out there. You're putting yourself out there in front of your family and your friends and an entire group of people you don't even know, and strangers, and you're like, I want everything to be perfect and look perfect, but there's no such thing as perfect. And messy action is better than no action. So it's, just getting yourself started. But these are huge things that you want to factor in. And this is something that you want to implement as soon as possible. So even if you're just getting started and you're like, okay, this is my logo for now, like you're not stuck with it. Absolutely. You can rebrand, but like once you do that rebrand, stick with that, right? Like stay with it for a consistent amount of time, because consistency is also huge.
Absolutely. No, and I think, it's really just... And I think it's a very vulnerable place to be, right, when you're starting a business. Like you said, like you're going out, you're having to now put yourself out there in front of people that maybe you do know, maybe you don't know, and more than likely a combination of both of those.
For sure.
And it's like...
It's scary. It's scary. You're it's a lot. It's a very vulnerable place to be in, and just pushing past that fear and doing it is the first biggest leap. But again, I feel like when you have that brand identity, the presence, like it does take your business to that next level.
It does.
It helps with people recognizing who you are versus like
just any other. Yeah, exactly. Like even like with I'll just say like for real estate agents, because I know that's an industry that I'm in as well. Right. It's what's going to differentiate you from, let's say, you and another agent that's also with your broker maybe, or also in your community. That
helps you stand out in a saturated market for sure.
Absolutely.
So versus doing the same thing that all the other real estate agents are doing and sticking with the same everything, like you're you're gonna stand out
Right.
a lot more.
Right. And that's really an important thing, because you really want to stand out in people's mind. The more that you can do that, the more that your brand is going to stick with them and that you're going to stay top of mind.
Absolutely. So that leads us to our next question, which is based off the power of visual storytelling. So how to create engaging visual content for social media platforms?
Absolutely. So, social media, more than anything, is just become so important. It's critical for every business owner, regardless of who you service. One of your consumer type is on a type of social media.
Right. So whether you're like a lawyer or
right.
a med spa or a photographer, real estate agent,
exactly.
a restaurant, like someone is on a platform that
you need to reach. Yeah.
Right.
And those people, those are highly activated buyers. Those are people that, you see it even within yourself. I see it within myself. Like when I'm scrolling on social media sometimes and I'm looking on Instagram, I'm an Instagram person myself. So, for me, I'm on Instagram, I'm scrolling through and I see brands targeting me. And I've found quite a few of my favorite brands actually through Instagram ads. Yeah. Whether it be like even just like clothing shops that I found that I fell in love with after, I got like a discount code.
Now, are they local clothing brands? Are they or from around the world? So...
Some have been local, but some, I found like some of my favorite clothing shops have been like Australian clothing brands. So like I found...
Yeah, so that's the power too of really targeting, knowing who your target market is so you can reach, especially if you have a business where you can provide a product or service anywhere in the world, right? Like you are able to reach more of your ideal client when you really narrow it down versus just throwing out ads that are going to just hit everybody. But we'll get into the ad part after, but
absolutely. Yeah. So just for, if you're lucky enough that your product or you solve a problem for people that don't have to be geographically located near you, you're really lucky, because social media can really take your business to whole new heights, like places that you could never even imagine, because you can reach literally anywhere in the world. You can use ads to target specific interests and things like that. And, the best brands in the world know how to do this, and they know how to leverage the service providers, such as myself, social media managers, who can target people for you in a way that's going to bring leads into your door and really give you the opportunity to close some deals for your business and get some new clients. And once you get people in the door, then you can show people the value that you provide. If you do a good job at what you do and you provide a lot of value to your audience, then you can't help but have that customer return and use your product and come back and refer people. And that's what this is all about.
Right. It's getting in front of the right people, but then it's also once you get in front of the right people and they know who you are, then the trickle down effect of them sharing with their friends, and the brand just grows from there. But it's, I feel like, so important for that one person to see you and to find you. And again, it goes back to knowing exactly who you're trying to serve.
Target, absolutely. And once you target them, if you can really visually compel them through the visuals that you use, through an authentic connection with an emotion that they're having, then you can really start to create something really powerful, because emotion is really where all of this stems from.
Can you give an example of how that would?
Absolutely. So just when you think of, let's say, even a luxury car brand, right? People buy those luxury cars. It's not because of a need. If it was because of a need, they could have just bought a more economical version, right?
Yeah.
So what we start to see with those more luxury brands is that there's not really a need that they're servicing. You don't need your car. You don't need $100,000 car, right?
Yeah.
You want that car because of how it makes you feel when you're driving down the road. It makes you feel like a certain status.
Right.
Maybe you're an older male trying to attract younger female attention.
Right.
But it's emotions that drive people to really spend their money.
Right.
And really use your service or your product or whatever it is that you really have to offer to the world. It's emotion, because people want to feel a certain way. You know, even like I think back to when I was planning my wedding.
Right.
I really, I worked with vendors that made me feel very comfortable. That made me feel like these people really had my back. They're going to take my vision. They're going to run with it.
I love that. Right. And you were able to trust them, like you knew that what you wanted was going to come to fruition, and you felt they made you feel
absolutely
comfortable, happy, like that, secure. You knew. Yeah. So that is definitely a huge part of business. And
I think when your visual storytelling can make somebody feel something, make them feel a really strong emotion, and usually positive emotions tend to have a stronger signature. Obviously, you want to make sure that your messaging is genuine. Absolutely. And that you're speaking to as much positivity as you can, and that you're really trying to target some type of emotion to make people act, because that's what makes people act in the end. Absolutely.
I mean, we all do it. When you think, like you said, you gave the example of you on Instagram shopping. Like we all do it. We're all, whether we know it or not, we're always being like targeted.
And just like your demographic information, and they can use that to like target you with all sorts of advertisements.
And ads are hard. I mean, Bert, this goes into the next question actually, so I'll ask you that. But I feel like, especially when you're starting off as a small business owner, every penny counts.
Absolutely.
So when you're out there like, oh, okay, let me throw up a Facebook ad because I want to reach more people. You know how much money I wasted doing that? I have no idea what I'm doing with ads. But there I was just like, oh, I could figure this out. But then like also my audience range was not narrowed down enough. Like having your ideal client is really such a huge factor in it, but also knowing how to do these ads. So with that being said, with social media advertising, how can you effectively use paid ads on platforms like Facebook and Instagram to reach your target audiences?
And that's a great question, and what a great segue. But yeah, I think really goes back to what we said in the beginning, right? Having that target, that demographic nailed down, and having a very specific idea of what solution your product provides and what problem it solves for your audience, because then you can really use that. Now you can use that to kind of go in a little deeper and say, well, what does my target audience like? And then we can go to interest-based targeting as well. And then there's really like a large number of ways that we could target audience members on social media, on Google Ads. It's a very complex environment, so I would really say the best strategy for a small business owner would be to get in touch with somebody who does this professionally. And I know that every penny counts in the beginning when you're starting, right?
Right.
But finding somebody who you can work with, social media manager who can provide that service for you, who knows what they're doing in that space, because really it's a very complex environment. And like you said, it can be really easy to go in there and start just throwing hundreds and hundreds of dollars like month after month and not get really any results. You want to make sure that you're working with a social media manager that can get you those results, that can deliver on them.
By investing in a social, like someone who does this, right? Like a social media manager who is able to do the ads. Investing in that person is going to take your business to the next level. You're going to be putting that money into ads anyways. Why not make that money work for you? Like, why just waste it and hope like, okay, I hope this reaches somebody, when you can hire someone who knows what they're doing, who will reach somebody, and who will grow your brand and bring the online presence to you, versus just being like, oh, I'm gonna do it myself. I could figure it out. I mean, yeah, you can figure it out. It's time consuming.
Very time consuming.
especially with the extent of it. Like you said, it's not just like, I mean, it goes into everything between like movies and TV shows. Like it's really time consuming. So then
they can even target by like income, by what you do. Like it's kind of crazy how far the targeting can go, how really drilled down they can get to the demographic like particulars. But yeah, it's really just, I think that's why it's really powerful to just have somebody who can do that.
Who can do it for you, so you can do the rest of the things that you're good at doing. Like businesses, it's hard. You're when you're a one-man show, you're running everything, and some things you should really outsource.
Yeah, definitely. I think we both know that from experience, like how hard it can be. It's definitely a one-man show, and especially in the beginning when you're just getting started. But I think for me, I've seen, at least for the large corporations, what marketing can properly do for them. And
there's a reason why they are so big. Absolutely.
And you may not be able to spend the money on the billboards or the TV commercials or the things that they really like use to make themselves top of mind, but you can take advantage of social media 1,000%. You could take advantage of advertisements online 1,000%.
When you're driving, billboards are great. Yes, I know people swear by them. They're awesome, amazing. But like when you're driving, you can quickly go by it.
Yeah.
When you're watching TV, I don't know about you guys, I'm either working on my computer, scrolling on my phone. Like, I don't really watch TV. I feel like, I know I'm just saying I don't, like, there's a whole world of people who are like, I watch TV and I pay attention to all the commercials, and great. Like, yeah, the ads are going to be great for there, but I feel like social media, to be honest with you, is more powerful than those commercials, than those billboards, than, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like
I've seen it. Yeah, even in my own businesses. Like, I think it really provides a way for people to see who you are and really connect with you on a deeper level that they're not able to do in a 10-second TV ad.
Right, and it's a platform that it's staying on. Yeah. So it's like, you post something on Instagram, it's there. Yes. That commercial is, like you said, a minute long, gone. And then, yeah, it does replay, but like, unless it's someone that sits there and watches TV all day, but hey, again, that might be your ideal client. And then at that point, you still definitely need someone to help you to target the right, because you don't want to just be on any TV network.
Exactly.
So, I mean, there's so many factors that go into getting your brand out there. And I think that's why it really is so important that if you're going to invest in something in your business, that would probably be one of the top things to invest in, right?
I agree. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the first places that you really should be looking to when you're looking to expand, because it really can bring you the most value and return on investment in the long term.
Absolutely. Okay, so our next question is going to be based off of building authentic connections. So what are some strategies for using social media to connect with your audience on a more personal level?
I love this question. This is one of my personal favorites, just because for me, I've seen just the power of networking, what it can do for you personally and for your business. So I think, it's about showing up authentically, right? How you are on social media within your mission, your values, really define those in a way that is true to you, because that's going to also show up in how you show up on social media. So after that, then it's just putting yourself out there, putting your posts out there, continually doing that, and then scheduling some time for some community engagement. So that, that should be liking posts, reacting to stories, leaving comments that are actual comments more than just like a couple of emojis or whatever.
Right. So when you say like leaving comments, like you mean something like at least like 3 words, like I love, like an authentic comment. So you post a picture or something and I'm like, oh my God, I love your dress. You look amazing, versus fire emojis.
Exactly. Something that's real, that's heartfelt, because your audience is going to feel that it's heartfelt or not. It has to be true to you. But yeah, it definitely connecting with people in that way, because they're going to remember you. And remember, it's about how you make people feel. So somebody now feels, oh, this person or this business is also supporting me. Wow, that's amazing.
It makes them feel nice.
Yes, and now they want to frequent your business because now, well, you supported me. I would love to support you as well.
And even that comment being on there, it just like it brings more brings more awareness to your brand, because I've had so many businesses like my stories, like heart my stories, or go and leave a genuine comment on one of my posts, and I'm like, oh, what is this? Who is this? And I'll click on it and I'll look, I'm like, oh, wow, this is cool. Yeah. And even if it's not my ideal business or something that I would work with or want to use or whatever, I do go and look at their page, and I do appreciate them taking the time out and, leaving something genuine on my page. Versus the people who are in my DMs going, oh, we love your page, would love to work with you. And I'm like, did they even look at my page? Because I don't live in Texas or, something. Like, how can I come to your facial part if I don't live by you? Like, take some time to genuinely, see who the people are that you're trying to connect with and build those relationships with.
You don't know what that connection is going to bring, whether it be for your business or even on a personal level. A good example, I think, is even our friendship. You know, we met through the networking group, Committee GNO, and, it started me coming to the Committee GNO events to, put my name out there and meet other people, but we really clicked and just,
And then, we clicked, but then we also, it branches out. We've clicked with a lot of other people in the community that we've grown close with that are, whether they're in our industry or that we work with them in the industry, they're in another industry. It's, it really is just finding who you work well with. I mean, even with us. So you came to the posing class and, you started out, you were a client of mine. We went back and forth. Got you pictures, you were really happy with them, and then you left the testimonial, you were so sweet about it, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to come to the committee event, and just from there, from us working together to, networking together, we just built a friendship, and it was
and it was authentic.
It was authentic, and we, to now, we hang out, we're friends, we go out together, our, my friends love you, and we just, it's we get on, we do business together. We refer each other. We work together. We have a meeting next week that we're working with other ladies that we met in the committee. We're working, I'm doing the content for them, the videos, photos, you're doing the posts. We just, it's working together, but also you build friendships from that, and it's great. And it's that's the best part, I feel with the networking and then going out there and then putting yourself out there. Because if I'm sitting home and not going out and I'm not on social media and I'm just sitting there watching, I'm not meeting anyone, I'm not growing, and I'm not building anything.
And I've said it before, that's kind of been one of my favorite things about kind of going out there and starting my own businesses, was that it kind of forced me to get out of my comfort zone a little bit and be okay, maybe it's time to just not sit at home.
And meet people, and it's great, and you never know who you're going to meet. You never know, and it could be someone from years ago. It could be the kids I used to nanny for. I made so many connections from their parents, and then come full circle, they were here a couple weeks ago taking photos for...
Those photos came out amazing.
Thank you. For their basketball. You know what I mean? It's just... everything... And again, I made a lot of connections based off of the people that they know to get where I am now. It's just... I feel you can't say no to the opportunity. Go out, meet people.
Don't
if you
discount that.
Don't discount it. You might not get along with them. That's fine. Not everyone's going to be your people, and not everyone you're going to work well with, and that's fine. Let them work with someone they're going to work well with, and just can keep growing, keep pushing, keep meeting people. I just feel it's such a huge part of business is being out there. And then when you take that into the social media realm, you're able to meet people from all over the world. So now if you have a product or service where it's not just based off of one area, you can reach people in California. And really, the podcast, I have people on here from different states that I met before and whatever, but a platform like a podcast, I'm able to now connect with other people from across the world, have them on to provide valuable information, and the only way I'm going to do that and meet these people is if I put myself out there on social media, and if I put myself, because otherwise, how am I going to meet someone from California? If I'm not going to California?
Definitely, and even I was just going to say, even getting out there and meeting other people who provide the same service as you from other parts of the country or the world, I often have other real estate agents, reaching out to connect with me on my real estate agent page. And I do the same vice versa. because, you never know who you're going to be able to refer a business out to. At the end of the day, there's enough work in the world to go around.
Absolutely. And I think that if people had that more of that mindset versus like I need everything, it's mine, like you have to, like the scarcity mindset, I think that's such a huge problem. Like, so for example, there's another local photographer, Adrienne, and her and I will refer each other out. Like we essentially shoot the same things. We do events, we do maternity, we do lifestyle, we do headshots, we shoot the same. Like, I mean, we're both photographers. We're both in the area, the Monmouth, Middlesex, Ocean. Like, we're in the same exact area.
You both have your own like styles and twists.
We both shot a same party together. I did a room ready shoot while she was doing the party, like for the client itself, because I was working with Luna Balloon, and Chloe had me come there doing room ready shoot for her, and the client had hired the client had hired her to shoot the event, and we both were like, oh my god, hey, you're here, oh, I'm so happy you're here. It was like a happy thing versus oh god, like why is there another. And listen, I mean, in any industry you're gonna get that. You're gonna get the people who are very like, what are you doing here? Oh, what camera are you using? Oh, what are you doing? And I feel like that's ridiculous. Like, listen, I could be using my phone and get a better picture than someone that's using a expensive camera with the best lens. It's how you take the photos, and it goes back to the your brand. People who know me and like they love working with me because they know
they come to you for your style too.
Yeah, so,
and also how you make them feel while you're shooting, right? I've heard a lot of people talk about just how comfortable you've made them feel, and how they felt like they were really self-conscious going into it, and you just make them feel like really comfortable in front of the camera. Those are the types of things that people...
Exactly. But then when it's like I said, like, so with the two of us, we'll refer each other out, even like, she'll send me a message, hey, I can't do this date, thought of you, if you're free, and she'll give the person my information, vice versa. Those are the kind of people that you want to connect with. Those are the people that are... Because you know what? There is enough business out there. Yeah. So she could just say to that person, sorry, I can't do it, I'm not available.
Right.
End conversation.
Yeah.
But she's going out of her way to say, hey, I can't do it, but here's another local photographer that could do it. And I truly appreciate people like that, because there's enough, it's a blue ocean. We can all grow. There's enough for everybody. We all can't do everything. We're one person, like,
I always say, like, collaboration happens at the top, Absolutely. And if you're willing to collaborate, that's...
Collaboration over competition, always. I mean, that's something that we promote even in the committee. It's huge. It's huge in every aspect of life. Yes. Like, you want to see the people around you succeed. You want to see the people around you grow. You want to just, I mean, why? I don't know.
Why wouldn't you? Yeah, I don't know. I really don't understand. But, I think that comes from a scarcity mindset. And we could get into a whole different topic about mindset.
That's for next time. Because I was going to say, we definitely have more questions, but I like to keep this, try to keep it between 15, 30 minutes long, so they're more digestible episodes for everybody. So we will definitely be having another episode on mindset, because the two of us talk about that all the time. So we're going to do another episode on that. I also want to have you back on to discuss more with marketing. I know today we did. I mean, I would want you to, if you have anything else that you want to say before we close out.
I really want to thank you for having me on. I think, this time was really great and valuable, and I hope that your audience finds this valuable. I'm excited to share what we have next time.
Yeah, me too. So again, we are going to have Marina back on for another episode. If there's any questions in particular that you want to know about marketing, leave them in the podcast comments below. So just one more time, where can people find you? Where can they connect with you?
So I'm on Instagram at Elevado Media. That's
How do you spell that?
ELEVADOMEDIA. And then Marina sells Monmouth. And that's Marina, Marina, sells Monmouth, MONMOUTH.
There you have it. So be sure to give Marina a follow. And if you have any questions, just shoot her a DM. She will answer you. She'll chat with you. She'll connect with you. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on today's episode. And I cannot wait to chat with you again soon.
Thanks again.
Thank you all for joining us in this episode of Real Talk in My Rooms. We hope you found the conversation with Marina, our amazing guest and marketing expert, both insightful and inspiring. Take what you learned today and put it into action to elevate your own brand presence. Don't forget to connect with us on social media and share your thoughts and takeaways from this episode. Remember, building a remarkable brand presence takes time and effort, but with the right strategies and mindset, you can make it happen. Until next time, keep hustling, keep growing, and keep refining your brand presence. Stay tuned for more Real Talk in My Rooms.